Time with Shebrew Royalty features remedies for inner healing and outer beauty. Real-time conversations with sisters in the Hebrew Israelite community, focused on healing our spirit, mind, and body, which will contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. Sip a cup of tea, wear your favorite turban, tee, or tunic, and enjoy tea time with Shebrew Royalty. Shebrew Royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, and peace. She's got long suffering, gentleness, and goodness, endurance, faith, and meekness too. Shebrew Royalty. She's got the fruits of the spirit.
Shalawam, shalawam, sisters, shalawam, shalawam. How are you today? How are you? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in with your beautiful royal selves. Come on in. Wow, let's see who's here. Sister Paula Gray is here. Hija de Zion, Ahab Karad, and my sister Althea, sister Johnny, Shalawam. Hello, hello. Peace and blessings, everyone. Shalawam. Come on in. Do me a favor, please. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Come on in. Sister Princess is here. Sister Nikki is here. All right. Golly. You all are so wonderful showing up on time like this. Wow, I am so excited. Let us get this Royal Shebrew Tea Party started. Shalawam, Sister Johnny. Shalawam. Hello. Come on in. Come on in. Another favor I'm going to ask of you. Please, 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 before we go any further, let's give a super big shout out, a praise to the Almighty. AHAYAH, I am that I am, the God of the Hebrews and Shebrews, in the name of His Son YASHAYA Christ and the Holy Spirit, Warawat Kadash. Let us give them a huge shout out and a praise for bringing us here another Sunday, bringing us through this past week. We're all here in good health. Praise the Most High. It's just so much to be thankful for. So yes, Sister Johnny, yes, all praises to the Most High AHAYAH. Yes, I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, and I humbly thank you for joining me on this broadcast today. Let us get started. How was your week? How was your week? What kind of week did you have? I had a wonderful week, but it was super hot here. It was a little warm here in San Antonio. How about you all? How's the temperature been where you're at? How has it been? Has it been super hot? I know yesterday it was so humid here. It was really humid, but we made it through. And, we need all of that vitamin D. So, yes, let us be very thankful for everything. Althea says, very hot and busy. Okay. Hot and busy. Great and quiet and hot, Sister Johnny says. Yes, it's been warm, so welcome summer. Welcome summer. It's happening. You know? Yes. Yeah, it's been warm, but I'm in the house. I have my blinds shut so that to keep some cool air in and the hot air out. So I'm pretty comfortable. Praise the Most High. So before moving any further in this discussion, Shalawam, Sister Ashley, good to see you. Shalawam, Sister Zion. Yay. Shalawam. So good to see you all. The water for showing up on time. Thank you. So let us talk about these disclaimers. Let us get them all out of the way so we can get started on this show tonight. Let's get this show on the road. Let me start by saying what tea time with Shebrew royalty is not. Tea time with Shebrew royalty is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and we get it. We understand. No problemo. No problem at all. But if you come upon this channel and you realize we're just not your cup of tea, you don't agree with our beliefs or our lifestyle, that is perfectly fine as well. What I do encourage you to do is to continue to search YouTube, and I am sure that you will find your perfect cup of tea and your perfect flavor. You owe that to yourself. So what I do ask also is that you not leave any insults, any derogatory comments in the chat box, because that would be distasteful. We would really appreciate it, and we thank you in advance. Also, although I am a certified physician assistant and certified functional nutrition informed professional, and I will be touching on topics of health and wellness in many of my broadcasts, we will not be utilizing this platform to diagnose or treat anyone's illnesses. So if you are experiencing any medical problems whatsoever, please consult your healthcare practitioner. And the views that you will hear on this channel are those of myself and or my co-hosts, and not those of any particular church or organization. Another thing, if you would like to be a guest on Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty, please send me an email to shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com and include a brief description of your business, product, service, or provide a topic that you are interested in co-hosting. I would love to hear from you and brainstorm on how we can collaborate to help heal and strengthen Shebrews throughout the four corners of the world, which will ultimately contribute to the healing of our nation as a whole. And I will go ahead and put the email address on the banner here. And that is shebrewroyaltybiz@gmail.com. Don't forget to include a brief description of your business, your product or service, or a topic that you are interested in co-hosting. Thank you so much for that. Once again, as far as my sponsor is concerned, Orderly Fashion 144's website is currently under construction, pending new inventory. I will keep you posted when it's back up and open for business. Let's talk about My Guardian Doc. Give me just a second. Give me just a second here to get this video on the screen for you. Here it goes, My Guardian Doc.
Life can throw unexpected curveballs. When it comes to your family's health, you need someone in your corner. Introducing My Guardian Doc, your virtual medicine program provides compassionate medical guidance and world-class care around the clock. Within minutes, talk to a licensed physician. We are My Guardian Doc. All our doctors are guided by our Patient Safety and Care Equity Council, whose mission is to ensure you receive safe and equitable care. For just $27 per month, your entire household gains access to a team of dedicated medical professionals. Whether it's just sniffles or sneezes, medication refills, or a question about diagnosis or treatment, or the need to speak to a behavioral health specialist in the privacy of your home, no concern is too big or too small. My Guardian Doc is here to help you. No surprise fees, no hidden costs, just quality care when you need it most. With My Guardian Doc, for just $27 per month, your entire household's associated benefits include immediately lower micromort count, which is your 1 in a million chance of dying, on-demand access to doctors, reduce healthcare costs, improve healthcare outcomes, decreased visits to the hospital or emergency room, increase your lifespan, and gain peace of mind knowing your family's health is always protected. From urgent care, primary care, medical guidance, prescription discounts, hospital bill negotiation, and much more, My Guardian Doc is here for you every step of the way. Millions of people have expressed a need for My Guardian Doc. Join the fastest growing subscription service. Visit myguardiandoc.com to subscribe today, because your family's health deserves the best.
That was myguardiandoc.com. And for more information, please, hold on just a second. For more information, please visit the website at myguardiandoc.com. And if you would like to sign up for coverage, you can find the subscription box or link for a Tea Time with Hebrew Royalty viewers in the description box below this video. All right, let us get started. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We are about to go in. Let's see if anyone else has shown up. Sister Carla is here. Sister Olivia is here. Shalawam, shalawam. Shalawam, welcome, welcome. So good to see you all. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I hope that you're wearing your favorite turban, tee, tunic, or dress. That being said, let's sip some tea and have healthy talk. Let's get this royal tea party started. Sisters, what is your cup of tea? What is your cup of tea? Sister Ba'ara Anawa is here. Shalawam, sis. So good to see you. Shalawam, welcome. Shalawam. Let's talk about tea. Let's talk tea. What is your cup of tea tonight? Go ahead and share that in the comment box. Are you drinking tea? Are you having iced tea? Are you having hot tea? Are you having water? What are you having? Lemonade? Probably something cold right now for these warm days, huh? Well, I am having hot tea. I am. And tonight, I am going back to my roots by featuring this super healthy tea made from the leaves of the soursop plant. The fruit itself is so delicious, but tonight we're focusing on the leaves. So let us watch this video by Jamaican Things to learn about the health benefits of soursop leaf tea. Let us learn about soursop leaf tea. Sister Carla says she is having ginger and turmeric tea with black pepper. Yes. Yes, healthy stuff. Sister Althea says I'm drinking lemon, cucumber, mint, cold iced tea. That's what I'm talking about. Gosh, y'all are so healthy. Yeah, we don't do sodas around here. We don't do sodas. So yeah, we stick to the healthy stuff. All right, let us watch this video on the health benefits of soursop leaf tea.
Soursop is a fruit of many names. It grows in tropical locations of Africa, South America, Southeast Asia, and the Caribbean. Interestingly, many parts of the fruit are used medicinally, including the leaves, fruit, and stems. It is also used in cooking and can even be applied to the skin. Welcome to Jamaican Things, and today we'll tell you everything you need to know about drinking soursop leaf tea. Before we begin, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Soursop is known in other parts of the world by various other names, such as Brazilian pawpaw, custard apple, graviola, and guanabana. The outside looks like a spiky avocado, and the fruit itself tastes like pineapples and strawberries, with the creamy consistency of a banana. Soursop is often served in juices or ice cream, and it tastes pretty good. But the fruit itself isn't making the news. Soursop tea is made from the leaves of the fruit and has a fairly mild flavor. Several studies have found that soursop has many positive immune system properties. It is high in antioxidants, which helps neutralize harmful compounds that can cause damage to cells. Another study found that soursop leaf tea can reduce inflammation and is effective in decreasing blood sugar in diabetics. And it works as a natural antimicrobial agent. Soursop leaf tea may also help to treat symptoms of fibromyalgia, a chronic disorder which causes pain and stiffness in the muscles. There is also evidence that shows soursop leaf tea can help lower blood pressure and is effective in the treatment of herpes. There is limited scientific research to show that drinking soursop leaf tea can cure cancer. However, drinking the tea will help fight and kill cancer-causing cells. In addition to its antioxidant properties, some studies show that drinking soursop leaf tea was able to effectively kill off multiple types of bacteria, including stains that cause gingivitis, tooth decay, and yeast infections. Soursop leaf tea is also nutrient rich and provides a good dose of vitamin C. Soursop leaf tea is completely caffeine free, which makes it low in calories, which in turn makes it an excellent weight loss tea.
All right, that was from Jamaican Things. Health benefits of soursop leaf tea. Who has ever had the soursop fruit or the tea? Who has had the soursop fruit? It is really delicious. It really is. And it makes some good drinks also. You make some delicious drinks from that fruit. It is so good. It is so good. Yes, and the tea, like it says, it really does have just a mild flavor. So it's very pleasant and smooth. So if you haven't tried it, Sister Carla says, I have both, are delicious. That's right. Yes, they are. Shalawam, Sister Lillian. Shalawam. Mary, welcome. So good to see you, Mary. So good to see you. Sister Johnny says she is having iced tea with lemon. Yes, iced tea with lemon. All right. We are showing up tonight. Another favor I have to ask of you all. Once again, I do not promote on any social media platforms because YouTube is my only social media platform. So for those of you that do have, is it still called Facebook? What's it called? X or something, or Twitter is X, right? Instagram, any of those, please share on your social media platform and also by word of mouth, your sisters, your friends, co-workers who may be interested in our content. All right, please do share. Sister Johnny said, never heard of it before now. You can probably find it in the in any of the Issachar grocery stores. Yes, in the Issachar grocery stores, you may be able to find it. Or if there's a Jamaican grocery store market close to you, you'll find it there. That's where I found mine. I found my tea at a Jamaican market or Jamaican, it was a small grocery store when I was in California. Yeah, so you will probably have to go someplace like that, either Issachar or Benjamin, right? Either one of those grocery stores, not in your regular mainstream grocery stores. You're not going to find it there. So that being said, it is showtime. It is showtime. Yes, here at Tea Time with Sheba Royalty. Who's ready for this show tonight? Who is ready for tonight's show? We're still in June. We're still in June or an Asian market. Oh, okay, AHAYAH. You've seen it in the Asian markets. Okay, so that's another option, the Asian market. Sister Ashley said she had the leaves. Okay. Yeah, but it's as you heard, it's very, very healthy. So yes, if you're ever in any of those places, look for the soursop leaf tea. So welcome to the 4th Sunday in June, Personal and Professional Growth and Development Month. So every Sunday in May and June, we have been focusing on topics that aim to help us improve our personal and professional lives. Tonight's session is no different. As a matter of fact, I really believe that you're going to enjoy this topic and the tools that you are going to be able to add to your toolkit. Yes, we are building toolkits. Yeah, because you never know when you're going to need these skills. And I think most of us need these skills on a daily or regular basis. So sisters, did you enjoy last week's show? Part 2 of Attitude is Everything. Did you enjoy it? What did you think about it? What did you get from it? What stuck out most to you with last week's show? I know there was a lot of information given in both of those shows, but and for some of you, I think it was 5 sisters that asked me to send the take-home questionnaire. So yeah, we had a lot of fun those last 2 weeks. Lots of fun. So yes, tonight's show, Balancing Act, Navigating Work-Life Harmony, will also be a 2-part series because there's just so many factors to consider when trying to find that work-life balance. Whether you are single and living alone, a single mom, or married with children, if you're working full-time, part-time, running your own business, finding that balance is always kind of tricky. And if we are not very careful to manage our time well, the consequences can be less than ideal, and burnout can happen, right? Which can lead to other stress-related health conditions. So we really want to be able to learn how to navigate through work-life harmony. Sister Adara, welcome. Shalawam, Ahchwathyam. Shalawam, sis. All right, let us talk about this. Let's talk about some statistics on burnout in women. So it says here, 42% of women and 35% of men in corporate America have felt burned out in the last few months, up from 32% and 28% respectively last year. And this is according to McKinsey and LeanIn.org's latest Women in the Workplace report. So that's a high percentage. 42% of women have felt burnout in the last few months. Burned out, because sometimes we really believe that myth about us being superwoman, right? And these things happen because we're trying to do too much and not really managing our time well. We don't have that balance. So tonight we'll explore some of the unique challenges women face in balancing our professional and personal lives. Let's start by defining work-life balance and why it is essential. Let's start there. So according to Cambridge.org dictionary, work-life balance is defined as the amount of time you spend doing your job compared with the amount of time you spend with your family and doing things that you enjoy. So even if you enjoy your job, that is not considered part of life, right? That's considered on the work side. So what is work-life balance and why is it important? That's a good question. Let's take a more in-depth look at what exactly work-life balance is and what it looks like and why it's important. So I'm going to show you an article from Coursera.org, and we're going to go into that. We're just going to jump right in. Once again, this article is from Coursera.org, and it says here, work-life balance, what is it? And 5 ways to improve yours. So we'll just start off with, what is work-life balance? So it says here, work-life balance is typically defined as the amount of time you spend doing your job versus the amount of time you spend doing what's important to you outside of work, whether that is with loved ones or pursuing personal interests and hobbies. When work demands more of your time or attention, you'll have less time to handle your other responsibilities or passions. Many people want to achieve a greater balance between their work life and their personal life, but in practice, it can be difficult to achieve. Sometimes a demanding job means more money to support a family. Sometimes a job contributes to deteriorating your mental health, which then leaves you drained in personal relationships. And then there's this work-life integration. Work-life integration, or the synergistic blending of our personal and professional responsibilities, has become an increasingly popular concept. Work is simply one aspect of our lives that needs to be considered alongside hold on just a second, our home and outside your home and family lives or community and our personal well-being. Rather than resembling a scale with two competing sides, work-life integration more resembles a Venn diagram of overlapping interests. So a Venn diagram is a diagram that uses overlapping circles or other shapes to illustrate the logical relationships between two or more sets of items. Often they serve to graphically organize things, highlighting how the items are similar and different. So here's the Venn diagram of the work-life integration, where everything just overlaps. Your home and family life overlaps, your health and well-being, your career, your community, everything overlaps. So there's no separation of each aspect. So let's explore some of the barriers that women face in being able to achieve work-life balance. Let me stop sharing this for a minute. We'll come back to this article in just a minute. So let's explore some of the barriers that women face in being able to achieve work-life balance. Do me a favor, post some answers in the chat box. What are some of the barriers that you have encountered on your quest for work-life balance? What are some of the things that have basically been a barrier to you achieving that? Go ahead and post some comments for me, because I know we've all had, throughout our lives where, trying to manage work, especially some jobs are just absolutely demanding, where, I know I've had jobs in my career in the medical field where even during my lunch break, I really can't even leave my desk. I'm sitting there eating at my desk, trying to get charts completed. So I was not even able on many, many occasions to just leave my desk and go sit somewhere and just enjoy my lunch. It was eating and working at the same time. And that was throughout my career. Sister Dara says, not enough time. Not enough time. Is it not enough time or not managing our time well? Because we all get 24 hours in a day, correct? Yeah, and I think what you're meaning is they give you so much to do, but not the amount of time that is necessary in order to complete all of the tasks that you have to get done. And so you're really cramming, trying to get things done in a short period of time. Sister Zion says time management is a must. Khan. And that's one of the things that we are going to talk about as well tonight. Prioritizing. Khan. Yes, prioritizing. And we're going to talk about that as well, Sister Carla. So I did a search to find out what other women are saying about why they have had difficulty achieving that work-life balance. Sister Carla says, allocating the correct amount of time for each task. Yes. Yes. And so here are some of the answers that came up during my search. Let me read some of them for you. Number one, these are what came up, like I said, from other women's responses to why they have not been able to achieve work-life balance. Number one, it says here, and these are in no order of priority, or it's just a list in no particular order. So number one on the list here, it says gender roles and expectations. It says here, traditional gender roles often expect women to take on the majority of household and caregiving responsibilities, even when they are employed full-time. Number 2, workplace culture. Many workplaces have cultures that do not support work-life balance, expecting long hours and constant availability, which can be particularly challenging for women who also manage significant responsibilities at home. That was number 2. Number 3, lack of flexible work arrangements, limited access to flexible work options, such as remote work, flexible hours, or part-time opportunities can hinder women's ability to balance work and personal life. Number 4, childcare responsibilities. Finding affordable and reliable childcare is a significant challenge. The lack of quality childcare options can force women to either reduce their working hours or leave the workforce altogether. Number 5, elder care. Women often bear the brunt of caring for elder family members, adding another layer of responsibility and stress that can impact their work-life balance. Number 6, workplace discrimination and bias. Discrimination and bias, including the motherhood, it says here in air quotes, motherhood penalty, where mothers are perceived as less committed to their jobs, can limit career progression and add stress. Number 7, lack of supportive policies. Insufficient parental leave policies, inadequate maternity leave, and lack of support for returning to work post-maternity can create barriers. Number 8, economic pressures. Financial necessity often forces women to work longer hours or multiple jobs, leaving little time for family or personal pursuits. Number 9, mental health and well-being. The stress of balancing multiple roles can take a toll on mental health, leading to burnout and other health issues. Number 10, social and professional isolation. Lack of networks and mentors, particularly in male-dominated industries, can make it harder for women to navigate career challenges and find support. Addressing these barriers requires systemic changes in workplace policies, cultural attitudes, and social support structures. So what do you all think about those? Is there any of those barriers? Are you familiar with any of those on a personal level? Have any of you encountered any of those barriers yourself? So now that we've heard of some of the barriers, some that you've put in the chat box and what I just read over, let's delve into some strategies that can knock down those barriers and get in the way of us achieving and maintaining a harmonious work-life balance. So setting boundaries, let's talk about setting boundaries. And I'm going to bring up another article here, and this is Forbes.com. So according to Forbes.com, these are 16 ways to achieve work-life balance by setting better boundaries. So we're going to start off with strategy number 1, setting boundaries. Let's get to Forbes.com. And Forbes.com has 16 ways to achieve better boundaries. You know, these ads are so disturbing. My goodness. Forbes.com. 16 ways to achieve work-life balance by setting better boundaries. It says here, healthy work life. Let me see if I can close some of these things out. Oh, no. No, we want to close them out. We don't want to open them. Okay. I'm going to ignore those because when I click on it to try and exit out, it's actually opening it. Okay, so it says a healthy work-life balance is essential to a successful career and a fulfilling personal life. While it's important to set boundaries in every area of your life, including around family, work, and recreational activities, it's also natural for these various aspects to bleed together, especially now that so many people work from home full time. To help the members of Forbes Coaches, here we go, talking about coaches again, Forbes Coaches Council shared strategies for better juggling all of the different areas of your life. Following their tips to set clear boundaries, follow their tips to set clear boundaries that will allow you to balance your many obligations successfully without burning out. And that's the key. We want to be productive, but we don't want to burn the candle at both ends and burn out, right? So number one, focus on 3 priority activities per day. Priorities change every single day. Some days it's all work. Other days it's something personal, and many days it's a mix of both. A clear method to focus on the essentials is to start the day with just 3 activities that, if completed, would make that day a success. If you finish those 3 activities, then think of adding a cherry on top by doing a few more. And this is by Vinesh Sukumaran Consulting. Number 2, develop a practice of reflection. A regular practice of reflection helps to ensure that you're stepping away to recover and that you're attending to the things that matter to you. This practice can take many forms and can be done weekly or at any other frequency. The key is to look at what you planned to do, what you actually did, and what you will do differently going forward, all with self-compassion and with the goal of learning. And this is by Elizabeth Simeon and Associates. So these are tips from different coaches. Number 3, understand your self-care needs. Be clear on what you need to stay healthy and operate optimally. In other words, self-care. If you fall apart, you can't get anything done anyway. Build your priorities from there. Be realistic about the time you need for each activity or task. Plan it ahead of time and maintain your schedule. Delegate through contracted support, family, or friends. Create a trustworthy and supportive team around you. Number 4, make time to recharge your batteries. What are the activities that recharge your batteries? Come up with a list. Pick 1, pick 2, or 3. It's your choice. Block out time in your calendar periodically and do the things that recharge your batteries guilt-free. You fully deserve it because you cannot give if you are running on empty. That is so correct. It's like trying to drive a car with no gas. And that's by Chuen Yen. And number 5, set accountability measures. Set accountability measures to help guide you balance time, prioritize, and establish effective boundaries. Clarifying tasks, recognizing to-do projects, and determining which relationships are important and meaningful to you will help in developing this balanced work-life plan. We often forget about what matters most, which is our personal well-being. A solid plan will help keep you on track. And this is by Reena Kular Sharma, Agilis Executive Consulting. Number 6, communicate clearly and assertively. Clear, assertive communication is an important aspect of boundary setting. Consider asking for help from those around you. This may look like asking people not to call you after work hours. That's important. Requesting a colleague to take on additional work, or speaking with your partner about hiring a housekeeper. And that's by Kyle Elliott, MPA, CHES, caffeinatedkyle.com. Number 7, pause and reset. Boundaries are important to have because they help you stay grounded to what's most important for you, your values and your principles. When things seem to compete for your time and energy, this is a trigger to pause, reset your thinking, and restore your focus on what's most important to you. This will allow you to reprioritize and get back into your flow. By Sheila Carmichael, Transitions D2D LLC. Number 8, define what you are willing to give up. Boundaries are as much about what you want to adhere to as they are about what you don't want to adhere to. That's so true. What are you willing to say no to in order to keep all of your other boundaries in check? Start by answering the question of what you are willing to give up. Once you have this answered, communicate your boundaries to everyone in your life who would be affected by them. That really is important, right? Because if you're setting boundaries and you're not letting others know that you are setting these boundaries, they're going to continue to violate that. So once you've set these boundaries, articulate that to everyone so they'll know. If it's do not call me after 8 p.m., how are they going to know unless you tell them, right? Number 9, define your personal values. Get clear on your values, which are present when you feel happiest. Take time to reflect on your top 5 to 6, such as energy, service, flow, etc. Use your values as guideposts for making decisions. Ensure all of your personal and professional activities align with those values. And that's another important tip right there. Ensure all of your personal and professional activities align with those values, because that's the only way that it's going to be balanced, right? If your activities do not align with your values, you're not going to find balance at all. There's going to be too much conflict there. This approach helps you make decisions about boundaries in the moment more easily. You'll be in control of your life and your life will flow. By Rosie Guagliado, Inner Brilliance Coaching. Number 10, create and stick to a schedule. Keep yourself accountable and create a schedule. Wake up and go to sleep at the same time every day, and make sure to give yourself a few hours of downtime. That, I must admit, is a struggle for me. I do not go to bed at the same time every day, and I do not wake up the same time every day. So that is something that I will really have to work on. Without proper rest, it can be difficult to set boundaries. Bree Luther, Inspired Science Coaching. Number 11, keep the commitments you make to yourself. Oftentimes, we re-engage on the limits we set not because of others pressure us to do so, but because we feel guilt for establishing our boundaries in the first place. Don't let guilt sabotage your efforts. And guilt is something else that we're going to talk about later on as well. Don't let guilt sabotage your efforts. Be steadfast in your commitments to yourself and know that establishing guide rails are a normal part of life. They allow us to function at our best. And that's Cheryl Cizak, Coaching and Consulting, LLC. Number 12, learn how to say no. This is so important. I don't know why people think no is such a bad word. No can be your friend. Know how to say no. It's a clear boundary that people often forget to set. Saying no means you can allocate your time meaningfully to pursue those things that you value. It is also a way to clear up ambiguity with others who may be willing to take advantage of your benevolence, time, and other resources. And that's from Arthi Rabikrison. Okay. These are some interesting names, huh? Number 13, become the master of your calendar. Boundaries are extremely important for managing your life and making sure nothing falls through the cracks. If you want to set appropriate boundaries, you have to be the master of your own calendar. Why? Why is that so? Because if you don't put something on your calendar, somebody else will pencil you in on theirs. There are a number of ways to do this, but you have to find the best possible solution for yourself to manage all you have going on. Number 14, know what's important to you. First, you have to know what you want and what is important to you. This is the only way you can decide how you can help others and how much time, energy, and attention you can invest while keeping your balance. Just chasing after others' desires and giving up your own desires will make you unhappy. That is so true. Open communication about this is the second step to ensure that no false expectations are aroused. All right, we're getting there. Number 15, see what is not adding value. You have to be really in control of this area and hold yourself accountable. I have set cutoff times for team members to send emails or make calls, as this then allows individuals to relax without the worry of having to answer emails. Even if it's a client email in, I instruct the team not to email until the morning. If you are struggling to fit everything in, audit your day and see what is not adding value. That's a great tip for managing your time at work. Number 16, build in downtime and breaks. Work according to a calendar with built-in downtime and breaks. I know from my handy watch that if given the room, I can buckle down for hours in one place. I make sure I build in needed breaks throughout the day to think and remove myself from technology. It is hard. My company is known for fast responses and timely communication, but I don't need to be in that kind of haste. When I get home, I don't collapse. Very good. So those are 16 tips. Those were very valuable tips. What do you all think about that? 16 ways to achieve work-life balance by setting better boundaries. You know what? I am going to share this link, the link to this article, so that you all, if you want to go back and just check it out, you can do so. There's a link to that article. So let's see, what have you all been chatting about here? Okay, let's see. Wow. I have some responses here. Time management is a must. Prioritizing, yes, that's correct. Sister Carla again, allocating the correct amount of time for each task. Mary says, wow, thank you. Sister Lillian said, that is a struggle. What is a struggle, Sister Lillian? Because I was moving so fast. I was moving so fast and I didn't see. Was it the going to bed and waking up at the same time every day? The same struggle that I'm having? Well, it's really not a struggle for me right now because like I said, I retired. I'm currently not working in corporate America. I work for myself right now. And so I have flexibility in my schedule. But when I was working in corporate America, I had to get up. I had that structure of getting up the same time every morning, but it was going to bed at the same time. That was a struggle for me. So I knew what time I had to be up in the morning in order to, of course, get prepared, get dressed and everything to get to work. But the going to bed was the issue. Let's see here. Give me just a second. So we want to talk about, why is work-life balance important? Let me bring up this article again from Coursera. There's some more information on here that I want to go over. Why is work-life balance important? It says here, improving your work-life balance can improve your overall well-being, including your physical, emotional, and mental health. Studies have found that working long hours can lead to such serious health issues as impaired sleep, depression, heavy drinking, diabetes, impaired memory, and heart disease. Unfortunately, as these conditions arise, they can also exacerbate our work-life issues, leading to burnout and other negative repercussions. While employers and employees might associate long working hours with increased productivity, and that's all we hear. Isn't that all we hear in the workplace? Productivity, productivity, productivity. And I know I heard that so much about productivity when it came to working in healthcare, right? And your schedule is packed with seeing patients back to back to back to back to back, and cramming your schedule for the entire day and actually overbooking. That was a huge issue when I was working in healthcare, is the overbooking, because they always said, well, all of the patients never show up. You have no shows, or you have people that will call in and cancel, but every day can be different. Some days everyone shows up and then you're running behind the entire time. And then there's no time for lunch. And then when it's time to go home in the evenings, you're there 2 hours later trying to get caught up on the work. And so I know what it's like working under those kind of pressures, under the guise of productivity. Oh, we want people who are productive. And all that means is, numbers. Doesn't mean that you are being more effective, more efficient when you're working under those type of pressures. So it says here, while employers and employees might associate long working hours with increased productivity, many researchers say otherwise. A 2014 study, for example, found that after workers hit a certain number of hours, their productivity began to decrease as the potential for mistakes, yes, and injuries increase. Achieving a healthy work-life balance can reduce stress and increase overall productivity. And especially when you're working in careers where people's lives are dependent on you being at your best, working at your best. People's lives are at stake. So what does work-life balance look like? The unique nature of each of our lives and our fluctuating responsibilities mean that work-life balance and work-life integration look different for everyone. It's a constant negotiation about how and where you spend your time. In striving for greater work-life balance, you get to determine your priorities, whether they're related to your work or personal life. Some examples include a stay-at-home parent who tackles work assignment while their newborn is napping. A student who prioritizes spending time with their friends rather than rushing to study for an upcoming midterm exam. A lawyer who consciously unplugs when on vacation. A new employee who dedicates extra time to tasks and responsibilities. A manager who establishes communications, boundaries, and won't respond to emails after 6 p.m. An employee who crafts their schedule to work specific days so that they can take care of their elderly parents. Those are really good boundary setting goals right there. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Right now, we are going to talk about self-care. We are going to talk about self-care. Let's see, what are you all saying out here? Let's see. Cecilian says, Consis. Okay. Cecilian, I can't fall asleep before midnight. I feel your pain, sister. I feel your pain. Like I said before, I said this last week, I'm a night owl. I am a night owl, and this is just who I am. I wake up the next morning feeling very refreshed, you know, and I guess that I've been doing this for so long that it works for me. It works for me. But once again, right now, I don't have a set time that I have to wake up unless I have an appointment or something going on. But, you know, I don't sleep in too late, but I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to get ready for work anymore. Sister Lillian said, and inclusion these days. And inclusion these days. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Sister Lillian. Elaborate. Sister Zion says, knowing how to make my work hours work for me as far as making sure I can complete my personal tasks successfully. Khan. And like we said, learning how to separate them. And unfortunately for so many people, their jobs tend to bleed into their home life. And that is not a good thing. When you leave work, you should be able to leave work, because usually when you go to work, you can't take your home life to work with you. You can't take your children, your newborn baby to work with you. So why should you have to bring work home when it's time for you to take care of your child, right? So we have to be able to set those clear boundaries. So let us go into self-care. That is the next article we're going to talk about. Self-care. Give me just a second. And this is, self-care is crucial for maintaining balance. So we'll talk about some simple everyday practices that can help reduce stress and improve our overall well-being. And here's an article from betterup.com that will give us some tips on just how to do so. And this is self-care and work-life balance, how to care for yourself. We do not want to burn out. So this is betterup.com. Let's talk about self-care. We shudder to think of people who don't believe in prioritizing self-care. Before the pandemic, one survey found that 67% of Americans put the needs of others before themselves and even felt guilty when they did take time for themselves. I dealt with so many patients with this complex, this issue, where they felt that they were not productive if they weren't taking care of everybody else. They felt like they were selfish if they were taking time to care for themselves. And then they wonder why they're falling apart, why their mental health is not good, while their physical health is not good, why their spiritual life is non-existent, right? But 68% of those respondents wish they spent more time taking care of themselves. Regardless of what's getting in our way, we need to include self-care in our daily routines. After putting in long hours of work, who wouldn't want to uphold their work-life balance with some personal time? Self-care and work-life balance go hand in hand. We know that's way easier said than done. It's easy to feel like we're too busy for it. That's why we're here. Take a deep breath, find a comfortable spot, and read on to learn how to take care of yourself and uphold a healthy work-life balance. So, taking care of yourself is always the first step. When people ask, how do you maintain a work-life balance? We always answer by saying, we need self-care. Some people might see self-care as a trend, but it's here to stay. One study found that 73% of Americans become more conscious of practicing self-care in 2020, became more conscious of practicing self-care in 2020. Plus, 69% said that they planned on incorporating more self-care into their routine than in the years before. We know that the workplace has plenty of stressors. When you're too busy to relax, your energy levels diminish and engaging with work gets harder. These workplace stress triggers may lead to exhaustion or burnout. Here we go with burnout again, and interfere with your stress management techniques, indicating that you need a better work-life balance. The importance of work-life balance isn't only about having the time to put your feet up. Work-life balance demands that we disconnect from our jobs and devote energy to our personal lives. That might mean a full social calendar, a regular exercise plan, or weekly relaxation rituals to limit stress. But the bottom line is that we create a lifestyle that allows us to value our professional ambitions without forgetting that there's more to life. That's important. Our lifestyle should allow us to easily take time to improve our well-being and mental and physical health, rather than feeling like it's impossible. To do this, we need to know what self-care practices work the best for us to uphold our work-life balance. And for each of us, it's different, right? If you need extra support to incorporate self-care into your work-life balance, discover how BetterUp's coaches can help you create a plan that works best for you. So here we are, we're talking about coaches again. So sisters, just a sidebar here. That word coaching and coaches have been coming up often. So what is that telling you? That's telling you that there's a great need for coaches. Think about whatever area that you're, like I said, your area of expertise. Find a way to use that to your benefit by becoming a coach. Think about it. Just think about it. these coaches are doing well, and the majority of them, they work for themselves. They are able to set their own schedules. So that's definitely a profession that is on the rise. 10 self-care practices to achieve work-life balance. One fun thing about self-care is that it looks different for everyone. Some people prefer to meditate while others want to work up a sweat. Learning how to have a good work-life balance means that we incorporate self-care into every aspect of our lives. This means we'll find ways to care for ourselves at work and home. These self-care practices are a great way to work on self-improvement. Isn't that what we're talking about? Personal and professional growth and development. If there's something we want to improve, like our sleep schedule, we can add it to our self-care list. Here are 10 self-care strategies as examples to help our work-life balance. Number 1, get enough sleep. Let's be firm with our bedtime. We'll start by prioritizing a nightly routine that helps us relax while drinking tea. Oh yes, there's our tea, or using essential oils. This will also help us wake up early, giving us more time for more self-care and slow morning routines. Number 2, practice mindfulness and meditation. Carving out time in our day to reconnect with ourselves allows us to be more in tune with our emotions. Practicing mindfulness and meditation, and for us, we know that when we talk about meditation, we're talking about meditating on the word of the Most High. That's how we look at meditation, right? It doesn't require much time, and I don't see in there prayer. Prayer should also be included in number 2, right? Prayer, number 1. Prayer, number 1, not number 2. Doesn't require much time, so we can sneak these in on our lunch breaks or after work. Go for a hike. Time for some physical activity. Going for a hike also gives us the chance to breathe some fresh air, connect with nature, and appreciate a change of scenery. Number 4, here we go again, learn how to say no. It's great that we want to help others, but we also need to learn when to put ourselves first. Next time a coworker asks us for help on a project and we're already swamped, say no to prioritize our energy and time. Number 5, this is a huge one. Unplug from social media. While social media is handy for connecting with others, it's also draining. Muting our notifications, limiting app usage, or having a weekly digital detox will help us have better personal time or be more focused at work. And I did that. I unplugged from social media back in March. I think it was March or April of 2019. That's when I did away with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I even got rid of LinkedIn. All of my social media I got rid of because I found that, number 1, it was, for me, there was just so much time wasted on social media, time that I could be doing something else. And then you get caught up in this whole, oh my gosh, for me, it was such a rat race. And I just decided, you know what? Time to get rid of this nonsense. And I haven't looked back. I have not looked back on social media at all since 2019. So I can relate to number 5. Number 6, set boundaries with others. Setting boundaries in our professional and personal lives helps to keep our relationships respectful. Don't be afraid to sit down and have conversations with people about setting healthy boundaries. This is an act of self-care. Yes, it is. Number 7, spend quality time with people. Our social connections uplift us, even if we aren't extroverted. Quality time with your support system is helpful to recharge. Number 8, let go of being a perfectionist. Amen. Some things don't go our way, and we don't always have full control. Next time a work project doesn't turn out how we hoped, let's be proud of ourselves for what we accomplished. Oops. Number 9, explore new places. Traveling is exciting, but it doesn't have to be extravagant trips. Try exploring a new coffee shop in a different neighborhood or eating at a new restaurant every few weeks. That's a good idea. Instead of a coffee shop, a tea shop. Exploring a new tea shop, yes, in a different neighborhood. Number 10, take care of our hygiene. Besides doing a face mask, we can take a soothing bath, do a foot scrub, or even just brush our teeth. Whatever helps us feel clean, fresh, and rejuvenated is a great self-care practice. So one of my favorite self-care practices is sauna treatment. Just sitting in there, relaxing, and just sweating and drinking water, hydrating, sweating, and relaxation in a sauna. Oh my gosh. It's such a good feeling. And when you come out, especially if you do that at night, you sleep like a baby. You do. Overlooking self-care can be costing you a lot. Think about your past work week. How does your body feel after finishing work? How much time did you spend at work? How much did you spend at home with your loved ones or doing something you enjoy? When you overlook your self-care because you are working too much, you'll face consequences you need to avoid. An excessive workload and overworking will upset your work-life balance. Of course, you have a lot going on at work, but that doesn't mean you should shrug off your self-care practices. If a few days are busier than the rest, it's okay. But constantly working too much leads to chronic stress and burnout. Your motivation will slip away and you drain all your energy and ignore your passions. And to add to that, that's where chronic illnesses come from chronic stress. Chronic stress not only leads to burnout, but leads to illnesses which become chronic illnesses, such as heart disease, depression, anxiety. Like we said, diabetes, because a lot of times you're not thinking about what you're eating. And many people are emotional eaters. So you're snacking on the bad stuff. And before you know it, you've gained weight. There's diabetes, heart problems, cholesterol problems. Excuse me. Your excessive workload won't just impact you either. Your relationships won't be as strong, and your loved ones will notice when you stop making time for them. And then that becomes a problem that leads to disharmony at home, right? Start to improve your listening skills. Listen to your mind and body after each workday. Do the work hours drain you? Sometimes you'll have to cancel your plans or skip your workout and rest. And that's okay. If you don't, you'll become physically and mentally exhausted. Take time to learn your cues and keep track of when you're running out of time to practice self-care. That's when you need it most. And no, you don't need to be busy all the time. You might marvel at people who seem to have infinite energy to do things, but in fact, you shouldn't. That's hard to do when you're feeling guilty if you aren't doing anything. Your intrusive thoughts make it difficult to relax because you keep thinking of all the other things you could or think that you should accomplish. Perhaps you're using a lot of stimulation, or you're a workaholic. Workaholics feel like they should be working at all times. They have persistent thoughts compelling them to work even after putting in more hours than necessary. If you're a workaholic, it's time to realize the importance of having downtime. Prioritizing rest over action is nothing to feel ashamed about. Carve out time in your daily routine for nothing but self-care. Block time off in your calendar to remind you how important it is to slow down. You can spend this time meditating, socializing, or doing absolutely nothing. Either way, let yourself enjoy the rest you deserve. And remember, your feelings are always valid. Working on your self-care practices and work-life balance isn't all sunshine and roses. If something's bothering you, whether professionally or personally, have the self-advocacy to speak up for yourself, acknowledging that what you're feeling is a valid form of self-care. Some days you feel down, while other days you feel on top of the world. You can't avoid one or the other, so you should learn to accept your feelings for what they are. Self-care will increase your self-awareness too. Perhaps one self-care strategy isn't working with your lifestyle and doesn't help you feel like your authentic self. Think about why that is. What that tells you, and what other strategies to pursue instead. There's resilience in self-care and work-life balance. It'll teach you to believe in your abilities and create change when you meet with any obstacles. And sometimes those obstacles are how you treat yourself. Remember to be kind. So here it talks about how can a coach help you? And that's how we started off May, talking about coaching, right? So how can a coach help you? Self-care and work balance vary from person to person, and that's okay. What might work wonders for you could have a completely different impact on someone else. But the best way to achieve well-being through self-care plans and help your mental health is by sticking to practices that work for your lifestyle. Don't try to conform to something that isn't a big priority to you or doesn't make you feel good. You'll have questions about work-life balance as you learn more about it, but you don't have to do it alone. And it says here, a coach can provide many different benefits. As you begin to practice self-care, they can hold you accountable and help you create a plan full of action. Your coach will help you recognize what's holding you back and plan how you can move forward and level up. But most importantly, there'll be someone who will help you celebrate your wins and be excited about your future. And it says here, find someone to help you feel productive and excited about the new habits you're incorporating in your daily routine at Better Up. Our coaches will help you develop a growth mindset as you establish health habits to benefit your future. And that is it. And sisters, you all know that I am pretty available should you have any questions about these topics that we have been going into. So please do reach out. Please do reach out. These are some of the things that I've helped others with, right? And I'm constantly trying to also better myself, and by utilizing the coaching practices that I've learned myself. So yeah, I'm pretty available through email, through phone, through text, for those of you that know me. And I do know how to set my boundaries, by the way. I do know how to set my boundaries. So let's see. It looks like we have quite a few comments here. Let me scroll up. Okay, Sister Lillian, I try to avoid talking about work when not there. That's a great boundary. Sister Carla, when I was working in the office, I would sit outside in my car before going into the house to reset for the real work. Yes. Yes. That's also a good strategy, Sister Carla. I felt more productive because now, since I work from home, I think about the laundry, dinner, studying the word, and feel more ineffectual. Journal writing helped me to see what I could do to improve. Amen to that. And Sister Carla, again, all praises to the Most High. AHAYAH journaling allowed me to be able to squeeze time in during the work day to do an infrared sauna for 30 minutes, my own little piece of self-care. That's right. Sister Lillian says, I need a coach. Sister Lillian, thank you, sis, for clearing that up. Replace meditation with prayer. That is correct. That is correct. All praises, sis. All praises. Yeah, we don't, we don't do the meditation according to the world's idea of meditation. Sister Carla, spending time with my sisters has been phenomenal. Gathering with my family on Shabbat, essential. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The Sabbath day, the day of rest. Khan. Sister Carla, Khan, sauna is everything. Sister Mary, love that idea. Which idea, Mary? Which idea are we talking about, Mary? You said you love that idea. Which one? Sister Lillian, Khan says, Carla, with spending time with the sisters, so rejuvenating. Yes. Khan, Sister Lillian, so refreshing to be around sisters who pour into each other and are on the same page. All praises to the Most High. AHAYAH Bahasham Yeshaya Warawat Kadash. Yes. I agree with all of that. Yeah, it's so important. It's so important because we are able to be there for each other. We understand each other. A lot of the things that we do, the world outside of our faith, they're doing something completely opposite. So we're like foreign to them, but we understand what this is all about. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the sisterhood. So very grateful. So let's see. Where are we? Time management. So I have a video here. Let's see, what time are we at right now? This video is called, it's by an etiquette coach, Jamila Musayeva, and it's how to manage your time more effectively. And she has 10 time management tips. So now we're going to go into time management. How to manage your time. Let's watch this video. Sister Johnny says, Sister Koala, I'm retired like you, so getting up and going to bed is no problem for me. Khan. Mary says, son and life coach. Okay, we are going to talk, Mary. We are going to talk, okay? Yes. We will talk about the life coach, and we can talk about the sauna as well, what the benefits are and so on, and see if and also we will connect you with Sister Patricia about the sauna. All right, let us jump into time management tips. We just talked about the self-care. Now we want to talk about the time management, because that's a huge issue for many of us, right? How to manage our time and be effective and productive without burning out. So this video it's how to manage your time more effectively, 10 time management tips by Jamila Musayeva.
Hello, I'm Jamila Musayeva, an international social etiquette consultant and author of etiquette books, Etiquette, The Least You Need to Know, and Afternoon Tea Etiquette. If you would like to order my books, you can do so now directly through my website. I'll link it down below here, as well in the description box below. If you are a new viewer on my channel, here I talk about etiquette, soft skills, self-development. I produce all kinds of educational videos. If you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back to my channel. I'm delighted to see you here. If you are interested in learning about formal dining etiquette, you can also join my course available on my website, as well. Join my etiquette movie club, where I monthly discuss etiquette lessons learned from various movies. So far, I've done over 20 different movie analysis. So in today's video, I'll give you 10 tips how to become better at managing your time. The reason I think I can talk about this, and I feel like I'm an experienced person in this matter, is because I'm a full-time mother. I have 2 kids. I am a part-time YouTuber. I do 2 videos per month on YouTube, as well as I run my Patreon etiquette movie club and book club. I am also an author of etiquette books that I handle the book orders, as well as I'm a guest speaker and trainer at various events and universities about etiquette and self-development. And I also co-own a first and only baby gym in Azerbaijan called Gymbala. So I have a lot on my plate, and I am my own boss, and I am in charge of managing my own time and scheduling my tasks. There's no one who oversees it. There's no one who I am accountable for. It's me only that I'm accountable for and to, and I have to handle my time on my own. This comes with a lot of perks. There are great things about being able to have to manage your own time, but there are also a responsibility that there's no one pushing you. There's no deadline in this. It's just you who has to be strict with yourself and learn to handle self-discipline so that you can become better at time management. But before I get into the 10 tips, I do want to confess, and I do want to make it known that I do have help at home. My kids go to school, but I also do have help at home that help me with daily chores, with errands. So I am blessed that I do have that, and I acknowledge it. Given that, let's get into the 10 next steps or tips that I want to share with you that will help you improve your time management. So let's talk about time management. Why is that a lot of courses right now are focused on time management? Because people these days have realized that there is nothing more valuable than time. If I ask you, what is the one resource that you have that's irreplaceable and irreplenishable? And you'll most probably say it's time. It's true for everyone. Time is the only thing that we cannot freeze. We can freeze our money, we can freeze our assets, but we cannot freeze our time. If you lose your bag, your car, your home, God forbid, not a good thing, but if that happens, you can always regain that. You can work hard, earn back, and get the house, that bag, that car back. But time is the only thing that we're not able to ever get back, which is why time management is probably the most important skill of the 21st century. So what you do with your own time is what you will eventually do with your life. So our life, if we think of life in a timeline and we have time in there, if we manage to control our time, we'll be able to manage our life. We have a direct control over our time. And if you don't control your own time, someone else will control it for you. To illustrate this, I want to give an example. Let's say You have a very free schedule, but your friend is always busy, has work, has things to handle. Who is going to decide on a time for a meetup? Most probably your friend. So if you cannot allocate a time in your schedule for that meeting, someone else will designate the time and the day for you. This is just a very simple example, but if we take it on a grander scale, if you don't have control over the time of your life, someone else will take charge over your time and put in the meetings there, putting the calls in there, putting everything else that they want to take from you. So learn to control your time so you can control your life. The good news here is that time management is not a talent. It's not a trait that we're born with. It is a skill like any other, learning to write, learning to read, learning a foreign language. It is a skill that needs to be learned, that needs to be practiced, that needs to be hacked. So let's get into the hacks that we need to know in order to manage our time. The first thing you need to do is make a list of things that you have to get completed throughout the day. I love to plan my time a week ahead, so I plan on a weekly basis. I don't plan a whole month ahead because I've learned through COVID, through hard times, it's very difficult to plan that much ahead, especially given how different and unpredictable this world today is. For me, the best way to plan my week is do it on a weekly basis. So I start planning out the week that I'm looking forward to a week prior to that. So what I do is I write all the things that I need to get done Monday through Sunday. And then I think about what are some things that are more important to me. For example, I have to deliver a presentation, but I also need to shoot a video. I have to make a choice. I cannot, if I only have 2 hours, I can't allocate 2 hours for both. So I have to make a list of the priorities that I need to get done first, and then move on to things that can wait due to their deadline or importance or value or the results or outcomes that I get out of them. So when I make the decision, I think about, first of all, when it's due, if it has a due date, and then what is the outcome or what is the value that this activity will bring to me in the long run. So say I need to do a presentation that is due next Tuesday, or I need to shoot a video that I'll only deliver at the end of the month. So priority, of course, will be to prepare a presentation. Making a list of things and prioritizing them is the key to getting started. Speaking of prioritizing, the next step once you're prioritizing is actually putting it out into a schedule. So scheduling things is the key to getting things done. I once read somewhere a quote that said, why is that the most successful people in the world that also have the same amount of time that we do manage to get so much done? And the answer was because they had a tight schedule. The tighter your schedule is, the less time you waste on procrastination, on unnecessary things, on just browsing through the web or scrolling through your Instagram. It's the time that is scheduled that gets things done. Paradoxically, the more free time you have, the more time you're going to kill. Actually, becoming a mother of 2 has taught me really how to schedule things and how to get things done on time, because I cannot waste time. When they're asleep is the time I work, when they're awake is the time I'm with them. So having them in my life has really helped me to gather myself up and learn to manage my time better. And that will work for you. If you don't have kids, of course, it's up to you. If you really want to have them, you should have them. But if you don't have kids, you have to learn to put yourself into a frame where you don't have any time to be wasted. Another thing that I've learned with scheduling is that when you allocate, say, 2 hours to do something, you will get that thing done in 2 hours, regardless of how much amount of time that thing would probably naturally in its free time take you to do. I'll give an example. If I schedule only 3 hours for 3 different video shoots, I guarantee you I get done with 3 videos in 3 hours. When I only plan 1 video for 3 hours, I'm only able to shoot 1 video for that 3 hours. I don't know how it works, but ironically, the time just stretches to occupy the time that you've allocated to do it. I'll repeat it. So the time that you've allocated for a given task, that task will be stretched out for that duration. If you say, I'm going to only meet a friend for an hour for a quick cup of coffee, because then I have to go to my French class or language class, any other language class. You'll only meet your friend for an hour. If you go in to meet your friend and you say, I don't have anything else to do, your meeting will take for hours. And maybe that's going to bring you joy. Maybe you learn something in the end, but maybe it's just a bit of time waste. The third tip that I have discovered helped me a lot with time management is what is called the 5-minute rule. If something only takes you 5 minutes to be done or completed, get it off your checklist. So for example, let's say I need to write an email that'll take me 5 minutes. I need to schedule an appointment somewhere. I need to briefly talk to my mother. I need to, check on something for my work. So all these tasks only will take me about 5 to 10 minutes to get done. So 5 is a rough estimate, but really it's the thing that I want to get done, but they're on my checklist somewhere down below. But they keep occupying my mind throughout the day because I haven't done them, but they're there bugging me every time I need to focus. So what I do in the morning as I wake up, I get done with all the things that take me 5 or less minutes to complete. I do the call, I do the scheduling, the appointment, answer the email. So once all of that is done and it's cleared out of my mind, I have this feeling of peace and content with myself, like I've done something, I've already accomplished something. That really creates the momentum then for bigger things to get achieved throughout the day. So for me, it doesn't work with starting with the most difficult task. It works with starting with a task that only takes 5 or less minutes to get done. And then once I've done them, I feel a lot of self-content. I feel a lot of motivation. And then I get started with the next thing, and that is the biggest task of the day. So the biggest task of the day is what Brian Tracy in his best-selling time management book, Eat a Frog, calls. That is basically any kind of task that is as big and as unpleasant as a frog. So when you start your day by eating that frog, the worst thing that can happen to you was dealing with that task. Once you have completed it, you feel a lot happier, you feel fulfilled, you have this rush of endorphins that make you feel happy about yourself, that makes you feel content and proud of yourself that you've overcome it, you've dealt with it. That works for me only once I've completed all the little tasks that were bugging my mind. And once I've done them, I start eating the frog. So once I've called my mom, done the appointment, emailed.
How many of you go through that during tax time, tax season, where you just dread doing those taxes? But once you get them done, it's like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. And you're now able to move on to other things, because that for me was one of the the most dreadful things, is doing taxes. But then when it's done, because like she says, a lot of times it's in the back of your mind, oh my gosh, I've got to do these taxes, and as soon as you get them done, you're able to breathe and you're able to move on and become more productive. I know that's me when it comes to tax season.
I start with the biggest thing that I have to do. That could be doing the video shoot, handling my Zoom calls, doing an online consultation. What is that is going to be a big task for that day? I then do that. The fifth tip for time management is learning to say no. Learning to say no is a great skill in everything you do in life, be it in a relationship, drawing boundaries, be it in work, drawing boundaries, and also with handling the tasks that you have to do. Overloading yourself, overstretching, overfocusing, multitasking is never a good thing, because you're not going to be fully committed to none of those. And we realize over time with life that when you are not committed truly to whatever you've set your mind to, you're never really fully going to achieve it. So we all have limited time. We all have the same amount of time. And the way that some people get best at what they do is because they know what they want to do, they focus on what they want to do, and learn to say no to things that are occupying their mind, that will take away their time from what they need to focus on. In my personal example, I get invited to a lot of different events to attend. I get invited to a lot of speaking events, and I have to then make a list of places I want to be attending and places that I would rather not. Sometimes it's very difficult to say no, especially when you have personal relationships with these people, you know them. It's very difficult to refuse to go somewhere. But if that event or that occasion or that party or meeting that person or dedicating your time to that task is not really going to yield any results for you, is not really what you want to do, then don't do it for sake of pleasing someone. Learn to prioritize your time and scheduling things and then saying no to things that don't matter. I also learned it the hard way in college when I was just starting. I wanted to make friends, obviously, as anyone else. I wanted to study, and sometimes I would be invited to places to go to where I didn't want to go, but because my friends asked me to, I would feel like I need to go to please them, and then I would be running low on sleep, and then I wouldn't do so well on what I had to do. So over time, I've learned to draw my boundaries and learn to say no to places that I didn't want to be in. So this is a really important skill in life, and not just in time management. This is probably the key in getting focused, and that is the next step. Focusing is absolutely essential for time management. When you are not focused, you are overstressed, your mind is just all over the place, your productivity falls down. Multitasking, of course, as a mother is a key skill. When I'm, for example, doing something with my child, I have to be aware of my other child doing something. So in a way, it is multitasking on a daily basis. But when I'm working, I try not to multitask, because when I multitask, when I'm working, the quality of what I'm producing is never truly up to the point I want it to be. I might multitask on daily chores, but I don't multitask in professional life. I've learned to focus on things that matter. So when I'm working, if I'm writing a content, I try to focus. I have to give myself an hour to produce a content. I do my research. I sit down. I try to draft everything within the hour that I've allocated. The more focused I am, the easier it is for me to do it. And secondly, the better of the quality of my work, because I am completely in the zone of doing it. Focus is probably the key to getting things done in the time that you have allocated it. Imagine, if you are doing a research and you have 100 different tabs open, the likelihood of you reading each and every tab and getting the quality information that you need to get is probably going to be very low. But if you learn to take out the most important information, focus on the key, for example, research papers or key information holding books, then you're able to just focus your attention on the most quality information. So whenever you're focused, you're always going to choose quality over quantity. Number 7 for being good at time management is allocating time for rest or play. Of course, working hard is important, but playing and resting is equally important. I wouldn't say more important, because obviously there are times that we need to work harder than we play or rest, but resting and play is essential for everyday practice. Don't think that I'm going to study, work hard for 5 days a week and then let myself loose on the weekend. Try resting and try playing every single day. This could be as easy as a power nap, which I personally love, and I do it on a daily basis. I allocate 30 minutes for a resting time. I power nap and then feel absolutely refreshed and ready to do more, and with fresh mind, with more creative ideas. Another thing for rest could be taking a walk. Maybe for some people, resting is going for a gym or meeting a friend for coffee, or maybe it is just getting a massage, which I also personally love. So it's really up to you, but you have to allocate your rest and playtime every single day. Because you work, you have to grant yourself the liberty of free time, when your mind can just wander to things, when you can, get more creative. I'll give you an example from my personal experience. When I used to study at George Washington University, my freshman year, I stayed in library practically every single day. I almost didn't have time for play. I was so focused on my studies. I did well, but ironically, I did best my last year of university when I rested and played even more than I had studied. I don't know how it worked, but I guess now looking back, it makes sense that when I was constantly in the library, sleep deprived, focused just on one thing, that study, when I would look at the book or look at my notes, sometimes my mind just went blank. I could no longer absorb the information. So my capacity of learning things was at its maximum boiling point. There is no way that I could learn or grasp new information. Whereas in my last year, I've learned to balance it, and even more, I allowed myself more time to rest. So then after resting, after having this free time, I'd come back to library and I'll allocate myself 2 hours for study. And then in those 2 hours, I was so focused on the study. Whenever I opened a page and looked at it, it felt like the old information was just being absorbed by my mind because it was so rested and so fresh. I know from my personal experience that it worked, and I know that it will work for you. Use Pomodoro technique. It's one of the techniques that I found very useful. You might try to alternate the time of your breaks and work time, but the Pomodoro technique is basically working for 25 minutes straight and then taking a short break. 25 minutes, short break. You can practice this method for working out, for studying, for writing a book, preparing a presentation, whatever it is. But also know that you don't have to be necessarily focused on just 25 minutes. You can alternate this technique. Do 20 minutes and then a break. Do 30 minutes and then a break. It's really up to you. I've learned through teaching classes that 1 hour class is really a lot. And what I try to do in my classes is do 50 or 40-minute class, then a short break, and then another 40, 50 minutes. Because for the last 10 minutes, the mind tends to wander and students are no longer able to grasp the information. I have incorporated this method in my Zoom calls and my online consultations, and I see that it works practically with all ages. Once you have done your set of priorities, you have done your 5 minutes task, you have eaten the frog, you have focused, you have rested, now it's your time at the end of the day to review all the things that you have done. And that's probably my most favorite part, is when I just underline all the tasks that I've completed, put a check mark next to it. That activity alone gives me so much pleasure. I feel so content that my time today has been productively used. I've been able to do all the things I wanted to do, and I felt like I had control over my time and hence over my life. Don't underestimate the power of this checking off list, because essentially that feeling that you get while checking off the things that you have done is going to always want you to get things done the next day and the day after. So this last gratifying experience will be entrenched in your subconscious mind that at the end of the day, I'm going to just check off all the things that I've done and how happy I felt that day, that moment. So that will bring you back the next morning to wanting to accomplish again all the things on your checklist. So then the next day you can just sit and check off the things that you have done. I personally take an immense pleasure in checking off the list of the things that I have accomplished for that day. And when I look at that list and see that I've done so much, that I have properly, productively, usefully used my time, it really gives me a great sense of content. And what I would recommend you that you practice this at the end of the day as well. Don't underestimate the power that this last practice has on your mind. When that day you've accomplished things, you've checked things off, you feel accomplished, your mind remembers this, and the next morning it craves for the same experience. The next morning when you wake up, you start doing all the things that you've planned to do, because at the end of the day, you know that this ritual of checking off things that you have done will come back to you again. The next tip for time management is practicing it. Remember at the beginning of this video, I said that the good news is that time management is not a talent. It's not a trait we're born with. It's not something that we inherit. It's a skill that we learn, that we acquire, and that we work on. And like any other skill, it needs practice. Maybe perhaps you can make a challenge for yourself. Start, say the next week, I'm going to plan my week ahead. I'm going to get things done. And then let me know how you felt at the end of that week. And then maybe that feeling that you're going to get will make you want to follow up the next week and the week after. The more you practice the skill, the better off you will become at controlling your time. The last time management tip is more about understanding the value of time. When you realize or view your time as an exchange unit. So when you are giving your time, it's almost like you're giving away your money, you're giving away your health, you're giving away your energy. So time is an immensely powerful source or resource that every single one of us possesses. And when you are careful with your time, you're careful with every other aspect of your life. I have learned, again, with time, with experience, to walk away from things or from places that I felt was a waste of time for me. I recently was invited to an event. I walked in, and within 10 minutes, I left the event. And some people asked me, why did you leave so early? I said, I realized I'm wasting my time at this event. There's nothing I'm going to learn from this. There's no interesting people that I want to meet at this event. This event is not something that is valuable to me in my perception. So I just stood up and left. And I came back home, and that time that I were supposed to be at the event, I spent on watching a movie that I really wanted to watch, and ended up reading another 20 pages of the book that I've planned to read. Again, I don't want to just focus on productivity per se, but reading a book or watching a movie gave me a lot more pleasure than being at that event. So over time and over the years, I've learned to walk away from places that I didn't think were worth of my time. I've learned to walk away from people that I thought were not worth spending time with. The same with, reading books. I have done a video on how to become a better reader, and there I share one of the key tips for becoming a better reader is giving up on books that really don't go with you. You really don't want to read them. Don't force yourself. If you don't want to watch a movie, stop it. Move to another movie. Don't force yourself to watch something just because everyone is watching it or everyone is reading it. So value your time as an exchange unit. If you don't value your time, someone else will. Thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. Please do let me know in the comment section below which of these tips did you find the most useful and which of them are you already practicing. And of course, if you have any other tips and tricks of your own that you would like to share with my community. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
I think that was a pretty good video. I think she had some very, very good tips. What do you all think? What did you all think about that video? I know it was a little lengthy. Yes, it was long. Sister Lillian says she looked winded. It was a long video, but I do believe that she did give some good tips there. Just a little long, yeah. Yeah, but thank you for watching, like she said, watching it all the way to the end, because I think she gave some useful tips. So yes, this is the end of part 1. This concludes part 1 of Balancing Act, Navigating Work-Life Harmony. And right on time, right on time. So I think we went over quite a few things tonight that we can all start incorporating if we're not already doing those, incorporating these things in order to have a better work-life balance. So next week, we will conclude with part 2. And part 2, we will talk about guilt, because so many of us, when we say no or when we're setting boundaries, we struggle with guilt. So we're going to learn how to not feel guilty for setting boundaries and for saying no. We'll also talk about navigating career breaks and transitions, leveraging remote work, building a support system, and maintaining balance in the long term, because so many of us, we start off really good, but it's how long does it last? Do we get burnout? Do we get tired of being on a schedule, being on a routine. And then sometimes we fall back into our old behaviors. So we want to be able to, once we start making these changes, to look at continuing them long term. That's always the goal. If you find something that works, then look at longevity. All right. So we are at the end of part 1. Let's talk about the tea party. The tea party that's coming up next year. Our 3rd annual Shebrew Royalty Summer Tea Party. I said, go ahead, and I know I'm really believing it's going to be either June or July of next year, most high willing, June or July of next year for the Summer Tea Party. Like I said, I don't want us to conflict with the time for that. The GOCC Gala will be scheduled for next year, and more than likely it will be done in June again next year. So maybe our tea party will be in July, maybe. But, you know, I'm looking into all of that. I'm looking into all of that right now. I'm just putting this information out there to get you to start thinking about that, start putting some pennies in your jars so that you can save up for the tea party, especially for those of you that will be coming in from maybe California, right? My sisters out there in California, sisters out there on the West Coast. Yeah, this year we did not have a tea party, and I truly miss it. I miss you all and all the fun that we had the previous 2 tea parties. So next year's is going to be a bash. It is really going to be beautiful. All right. Yes, Sister Lillian said yes. Yes, yes, yes. So what did you all think of tonight's show so far? Sister Lillian Khan, yes, it will be a physical get together tea party. And my goal for last, if we were supposed to have one this year, eventually I ended up having to cancel this year's tea party. But the goal was to make it a weekend, more, not just a tea party, but a conference. So we would have workshops and so on and so forth. On the Shabbat, of course, we will attend Shabbat. That will be what we will do on Saturday. And Friday would be workshops up until sundown. Saturday will be Shabbat. And then Saturday night after the Shabbat, then we would more than likely do something together as a group, whether it be, going bowling or going to see a movie, whatever that looks like. And then Sunday would be the actual tea party. So that is what the plan is. That is what it would look like. Friday would be workshops, Saturday, Shabbat, and then Sunday, the tea party. Sister Jeanette says, I didn't catch the beginning, but the end was great. I'm going to implement time management into my week. Yes, I have a few projects I need to start and finish. And Sister Jeanette, you are so good at this stuff. You are just so good at following through. The water. Sister Lillian said, love this idea. The water says, that goes my vacation. Praise the Most High. Shalawam, Sister Paula. So good to see you. Yes, plan your vacation for next year for the 3rd annual Tea Time with Shebrew Royalty Tea Party, Summer Tea Party. Yes. So more than likely June or July of next year. Yes, it's going to be great. And we'll come up with a theme. Last year we had a, what was it? A most fabulous hat and most creative head wrap contest. Oh, it was great. Sister Johnny said the show was very informative as usual. Very good tips for everyone. All praises, all praises. So yeah, so next week we're going to conclude. Next week will be the 5th Sunday in June. So this month had 5 Sundays. So next week we're going to finish up personal and professional growth and development themes. And I am not sure what the theme will be for July as yet. But by next week, I will have that. I will know what the theme is for the following month for July. And so next week is the last Sunday that we will be focusing on personal and professional growth and development. But for those of you that haven't seen the previous videos, we started this theme back in May. So May and June, we have so many videos on personal and professional growth and development. So sisters, I hope that you found the information that was presented tonight useful. If you did, please do me a favor, share this video with your sister friends and relatives. Let's grow this channel so that this information can reach Shebrews throughout the 4 corners of the earth. And even those that are not Shebrews but are willing to be a part of our community. And another thing about this video tonight, or this session tonight, was learning time, when we were talking about time management, self-care, all of that. We are talking about getting things done in decency and order. And that is so important because our God is a God of order. He is a God of decency. So we, tightening up these areas of our lives that need tightening up is really important. This is part of kingdom building, right? So doing things in decency and order. So that is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, is so that we can become so much more effective in our lives, personally and professionally. So we are to let our light shine so that others can be led to the source of the light, right? Let us not forget that. Let us not forget that we are always being watched. We are always being watched. Remember that. So I love you all. I thank you all so much. I thank you all so much. Tonight, I believe, was another very, very informative show. I'm personally going to have to go back and watch this again and, read some of these articles again and start myself tightening up in these areas as well. So thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to have tea and conversation with me. And I'm so thankful to you all for, just the support. And like I said, carving time out of your day, because I know how difficult it is. We're all so busy. And the fact that you take time out to spend this time with me, I don't take it for granted. I'm really grateful to you all for spending this time with me. I thank you for your support and for your love. Know that I am praying for you. I am praying for us. So until the Most High brings us back together again, may you prosper and be in good health. Ayandabar, Sister Jeanette, Ayandabar. Ayandabar. May you prosper and be in good health. And remember, true healing always begins inwardly before it is expressed outwardly. All right? So I am your hostess, Kwala Yakaka, a voice of reasoning and justice. Sister Lillian, Ayandabar. I'm so glad that you found the information useful and good. Sister Althea said, great job. The water, Sister Madakwa. The water, Sister Johnny. Love you too. Love you all. You have a wonderful and blessed and restful night and a blessed week. And if it's the Most High's will, we will see each other again next Sunday, same tea time, same channel. Love you all. AHAYAH. Shalawam. Peace and blessings.